Welcome to the Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition Beginner's Guides. The purpose of these tutorials is to provide some very basic, spoiler-free information for players starting out the series for the first time. Combat in Xenoblade Chronicles games can be very overwhelming for new players. There's a lot of information to take in at once. Hopefully, this guide will make starting out just a little bit easier. This guide is just a starting point for beginning the game. Future guides will cover specific aspects of the combat in more detail. Before we begin, I'd like to briefly mention Casual Mode. Casual Mode is a game setting that lowers enemy difficulty so you can focus on exploring the environments and experiencing the story. The information in this guide applies to any difficulty setting in the game from casual to expert. If you're interested in Casual Mode, here's how to turn it on. First, open your system menu with the plus button. Then, select Options from the system menu. Next, select Game Settings from the Options menu. And last, select Casual Mode. Apply the settings, and you're all done. Now, let's get started. While you're out in the field, you can target individual enemies by pressing the L or R buttons. This also works while you're in battle. To begin the battle, press A on the red circle in the center of the Arts menu. If you're close enough, you can also begin the battle by selecting an art. When you initiate combat, a blue circle will appear on the screen. Try to hit the B button right when the ring reaches the blue circle. This will give your party a boost to their attention. Sometimes you'll get a chance to do this during combat as well. We'll talk more about tension a bit later. Do you see a group of enemies that looks like they might be too tough to take on? Don't worry. You can often lure one over and take down the group one by one. To lure an enemy, first target them with L or R and then press down on the D-pad. Once you're close enough, press A and they'll come running over. Press A to begin the battle. Just make sure not to get too close to the rest of them. This method is not 100% effective. Certain enemies will always attack if someone in their group detects you. However, it works most of the time. As the battle commences, your party will swing their weapons at the enemy. This is called your auto attack. Your main method of damage dealing are the arts, listed on the menu at the bottom of the screen. Every art does something a bit different. Once you use an art, it will need to recharge before you can use it again. In the early game, most characters recharge their arts by auto-attacking. Some arts are positional. When you're in the right spot, an exclamation mark will appear next to the art. Try to get in the right position around an enemy to deal a lot of damage. Every character has different arts, so feel free to try them out and see who you like. Generally, your party will spread out and attack multiple enemies. It can be very helpful to tell them to group up and attack one at a time. Just hold down ZR and then press up on the D-pad. Release ZR and you're good to go. One of the most useful tactics you can learn is Toppling. Toppling an enemy will knock them down for a bit while you get some extra attacks in. Start by inflicting Break on an enemy using a pink art. Next comes Topple. If your character has a green art, now is the time to use it. If another character in the party has a Topple art, they will usually use it automatically after you inflict Break. If an enemy is already toppled, some characters will be able to inflict Daze with a yellow art. Daze will stun enemies temporarily and remove their auras. We'll cover auras in another video. Now, we will briefly go over party tension. A character with high tension gets bonuses to their attacks. That character will look pumped up in their portrait. Conversely, a character with low tension suffers a penalty to certain stats. That character will look sad and demoralized. You can help out a character with low tension. Run up to them for a prompt to encourage. Hit B to cheer them up. Now, let's talk about the party gauge. Over time, or as you perform certain actions, the party gauge will fill up. The party gauge is divided into 3 sections. If a party member is down, you can use one section to revive them. Finally, once the party gauge is completely full, you can perform a chain attack. Once your party is ready for a chain attack, they will become linked together by blue lines. To initiate a chain attack, press up on the D-pad and then start the attack with A. Make sure your party is targeting the same enemy first. Once a chain attack begins, time will freeze and all your normal arts will recharge. However, your center art or talent art will remain at the same level it was before the chain attack began. Chain attacks are a great way to force a topple. Make sure you choose the correct arts in the correct order. Chain attacks can also allow you to do some real damage to an enemy. Choosing arts of the same color will multiply the attack damage. In this situation, your talent art will count as any color in the multiplier. Sometimes, you'll get a chance to continue the chain attack with a B prompt. Hit it at the right time and the chain attack keeps going. That's about it for this one. If you found this video helpful, or didn't, please leave a comment. I'm very new at this and I appreciate any feedback. Also, check me out on twitch.tv/TheWobblyH, where I'm currently streaming Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, as well as the Pokemon trading card game for Game Boy Color. See you next time!
Fiora, that's great, we can definitely do this!